Hello everyone, welcome to this my new video for the fundamental analysis and case study of the Dabur India Limited. So first we understand about the company. Dabur India Limited is one of the leading fast moving consumer goods FMCG players dealing in consumer care and food products. The company has a rich Ayurvedic heritage of almost 136 years and is the fourth largest FMCG company in India and a leader in Ayurveda globally. The company has various brand leaders in different market segments. Dabur Chyawanprash, a health tonic, and Hajmola, a digestive tablet, Real launched during 1996 to 1997, has also successfully become the leader in the market. Dabur operates in a key consumer product categories like hair care, oral care, health care, skin care, home care, and foods. The company has a wide distribution network with a high penetration in both urban and rural markets. Dabur's products also have a huge presence in the overseas markets and are available in over 100 countries across the globe. The company has its manufacturing presence across 9 countries. Dabur has identified 9 power brands: Dabur Chyawanprash, Dabur Honey, Dabur Lal Tail, Dabur Honitus, Dabur Pudina Hara, Dabur Red Paste, Dabur Amla Hair Oil, Vatika and Real Fruit Juice. Sales growth of Dabur India in financial year 2022, the revenue grew by 13.9% year-over-year growth to 10,889 crore, led by 13.8% growth in India FMCG business on the back of 10% year-over-year volume growth. The international business grew by 15.8% year-over-year in a constant currency terms. During a quarter, revenue stood at rupees 2,822 crore. The healthcare segment witnessed a degrowth of 21% year-over-year growth on the back of high base as a quarter 1 financial year 2022 witnessed strong demand for their COVID contextual immunity lead portfolio. The home and personal care segment witnessed a growth of 16% year-over-year, majorly led by home care products such as Odomos and Odonil. The food and beverage business grew by 50% year-over-year, driven by new product launches and portfolio expansion. The company gained market share across 98% of their product categories during the quarter. Profit after tax growth. During FY 2022, the PAT grew by 2.8% year-over-year to rupees 1,744 crore. This was lower on the back of significant increase in finance cost and tax expenses. The company would continue to strengthen and leverage the power brand, expand the distribution network, digitize the operations, optimize costs, and build organizational capabilities for sustainable and profitable future growth. During the quarter, PAT remained flat on year-over-year growth basis and stood at rupees 441 crore. EBITDA margin in FY 2022, the company was able to maintain EBITDA margin at similar levels. It continued to face high inflationary trend on the commodity front. However, the management expects to be able to maintain the EBITDA margin via calibrated price hikes and cost control measures. However, the gross margin would continue to remain under pressure for the near future. In quarter 1 FY 23, the management was able to maintain their EBITDA margin at the sustainable level of 20% despite inflationary challenges. They are able to easily undertake price increases in a market where they own the maximum market share. Profit after tax margin. The PAT margin in FY 2022 decreased primarily due to an increase in tax rate in India business. The effective tax rate during the year stood at 23%. At a consolidated level, tax rate for FY 23 is expected to be the range of 22.5% to 23%. In quarter 1 FY 23, PAT margin increased sequentially and stood at 15.6%. This was because in quarter 4 FY22, the company reported an exceptional item of rupees 85 crore an account of impairment of goodwill in their Turkish operations due to steep currency devaluation. Dabur had a healthy ROC, that is return on capital employed, of 31.3% up to FY16. However, over the past 6 years, the ROCE has come down from 34.5% in FY16 to 27.6% in FY21. In FY22, the ROCE was flat as compared to that of in FY21. The company has been incurring higher capital investment in both brownfield and greenfield projects, along with a new factory which is currently being built in Assam over the past few years. These had been an impact on the company's ROC over the past years. Similar to ROCE, the company has had a healthy average ROE of 33% over the past 10 years. In FY22, the ROE stood lower as compared to FY21 due to an increase in net worth to 8,381 crore. The ROE has been continuously falling over the years on account of deceleration in the net profit growth. Cash flows. Dabur has a very healthy and strong cash flow from operations profile over the years. In FY22, the SCFO stood at rupees 1,802 crore, witnessing a decline of 14.8% year over year. This was an account of a significant increase in current assets such as inventories, investments, and trade receivables. Cash flow from investing activities was an outflow of rupees 1,275 crore. During the year, Dabur spent rupees 370 crore on its capex activities. Cash overflow from financing activities to rupees 490 crore in FY 2022, primarily owing to dividend payment and lease liabilities. Inflows under CFF were an account of proceeds from borrowing amounting to rupees 541 crore. Working capital cycle. The working capital cycle of the company has improved significantly over the past 9 years. Initially, the working capital used to be tied up for around 35 days, and in FY22, the company is operating in a negative working capital cycle. This had been mainly due to extended payable days along with control over receivable and inventory days by prudent collection system driven by online payments and selective incentives for early payments, along with planned stocks pile up over these days. Debit to equity. Dabur has a low debt equity ratio which has reduced from 0.72 in FY 12 to 0.12 in FY 2022. However, the same increased from FY 21 on amount of significant increase in both current and non-current borrowings. Interest coverage ratio. The interest coverage ratio of a Dabur stood at 60 in FY 2022, witnessing a decreased year over year on account of an increase in interest payments during the year. Overall, the EBIT is healthy enough to cover up the interest obligations comfortably. Measuring the interest cost comprises of final finance cost. Free cash flow. Dabur has had a healthy and a positive free cash flow per share over the years. In financial year 2022, the FCF or share it decreased due to decrease in a cash flow from operations and an increase in a capex. Over the past 5 years, the company has allocated 3% to 5% of revenues on its capex activities. Dabur would invest rupees 550 crore in the next 4 to 5 years to set up a greenfield facilities in Indore. This would primarily cater to the healthcare and HPC business, Chyawanprash business. There has been an increase in a penetration of healthcare in the country, and hence the management is preparing itself by augmenting the capacity in order to meet the demand. Asset turnover ratio. Dabur has had a stable asset turnover ratio over the past few years at around 1.09. The sales growth during the period FY16 to FY17 were impacted due to factors such as demonetization, currency devaluation, below average rainfall impacting the rural sector, and hence slowdown in the FMCG industry, along with other headwind in the international market such as geopolitical issues and currency volatility. However, the industry slowly started reviving from FY18 onwards, which is reflected in the improvement of the top line growth. Current ratio. Dabur has had a comfortable current ratio over the year. In FY22, the current ratio stood at 1.3. During the year, higher borrowings and net current tax liabilities lead to an increase in the total current liabilities. However, the current assets were lower. Overall, the company has a comfortable mix of short-term liabilities and assets. The ratio, the current market price of it's a 550. Dabur is trading at a P of 54.47 on a TTM basis. Any threat to the market share is a verticals due to competition would be a key risk to the company's valuation. Valuation. Dividend yield. In FY22, the company proposed an interim dividend of rupees 2.5 per share and a final dividend amounting to rupees 2.7 per share. Dividend payout ratio stood at 53% for the year. Let's see earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation and amortization, that is EBITDA. In financial year 2022 grew up by 12.5% year over year to 2,254 crore despite facing inflationary headwinds, which was set off by calibrated price hikes undertaken by company. In quarter 1 FY23, the operating environment remained challenging on the back of the continued impact of war in Ukraine. Inflation continued to remain unabated and the industry witnessed softening of the demand, which led to a decline in FMCG volumes. The EBITDA for a company stood at rupees 543.7 crore and declined by 1.52% year over year growth. The company undertook price increases to the tune of 6% to 6.5% during the quarter to combat the challenge of inflation. Key levels of a Dabur India has been a steady uptrend since last few years. The stock had been consolidating between 360 to 480 between 2018 to 2022 and has been a high of 659 in September 2021. So post which the stock witnessed some sell-off. In a line with our expectations, we found a support at 500. Here we go, support. The zone of 480 to 520 can be used by long-term investors for accumulation. And for current, we see the breakout level already given by Dabur. So these are the level for a Dabur. The maximum grade for the company could be 30. Any company above grade 20 is a worth considering. Grade below 15 is considered to be poor. Here what we count is a 23. So this document and the purpose of identifying the potential of a company has been produced only for a learning purpose. Since equity involves individual judgments, this analysis should be used for only learning enhancements and cannot be considered to be recommendation of any stock or a sector. Our knowledge team has been limited understanding and we all are learning the art and science behind this. So that's it in this video. Thanks for watching.